So let's start class. And today, I want to start artificial intelligence. And this is a major theme that will carry us through to the rest of the semester, okay? And so for this class, I want to introduce a book called Empire of AI, written by a journalist named Karen Hao. She is an American journalist, and she spent many decades researching OpenAI and writing about the advent of AI for major publications, including the Wall Street Journal. And she has a very skeptical view of AI. I share her skepticism. So this book is mainly about OpenAI, which is also the most important artificial intelligence company in the world right now, because they were the ones who pioneered ChatGPT, okay? And it started off as a project sponsored by Elon Musk and others because they were concerned that AGI, artificial general intelligence, would be a threat to humanity. So they wanted to develop AI in a way that would serve humanity as opposed to threaten humanity. And so at first, it was a very noble mission. It started off as an idealistic mission, but now its main focus is to become an empire. And there are three ways in which it is trying to become an empire. First of all, it's trying to be a religion, because as Sam Altman, who's now the leader of OpenAI, says, if you really want to change the world, if you really want to build an empire, you need to start a religion. And so a company is just a vessel in which to incubate this religion, okay? So one, it's a religion. Second thing about OpenAI and other AI companies is that it is focused on relentless expansion. And that means building data centers everywhere and anywhere. Okay, so OpenAI wants about $1 trillion to build lots of data centers around the world. Because if you really want AI to be successful, you have to first conquer the world. Okay? So it's not really about making AI safe for humans. It's about making the world safe for AI. All right? To make basically humans slaves to AI. That's the second thing. And the third thing is, and this is most important, is they refuse to define what artificial intelligence is. They're constantly changing the definition of AGI in order to better control the world. So Karen Hao is a reporter. She was working for the technology review at MIT. In 2019, she goes to Silicon Valley and she meets with Brockman and Sutskever, who are the two main scientists behind the OpenAI project. And the first question she's going to ask, and anyone should ask, is, what is AGI? What is AI? What are you trying to build? And they could not answer that question. Okay? And it's not because they don't know, it's because the truth is too scary. And what we're going to do is figure out what the truth is. What is AI? What is artificial intelligence? What is AGI? And the answer, of course, is it's God. What Brockman and Sutskever could not tell Karen Hao is that we're trying to create God, because that is insane, evil, and stupid. But if you look at what they're doing, that's exactly what they're trying to do, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do now is really quickly, all right, explain to you what AI is. And to understand what AI is, let's go back to the year 1966. And in the year 1966, a man named Joseph Weizenbaum, who was at MIT, he created something called a chatbot, which is basically ChatGPT. And it calls it Elisa, okay? And he's trying to prove to people how easy it is to fool people into believing that AI can actually think for itself, okay? So he creates this computer, and you sit down with this computer and you ask it questions, and then it talks to you. It's not really talking to you. It's a program designed to fool you to believe that it's sentient. ChatGPT is what we call a large language model. Okay? So, in other words, what it's trying to do is trying to trick you, the user, into believing that it knows what it's talking about. Okay, and how it works is basically it takes all of the internet, okay? Right? All data from the internet, and then it translates it into a idea. All right. So in other words, it's actually no different from a Google search. The only difference is that it's taking the Google search, figuring out what the most popular answer is, and then presenting it to you in a way that makes you think that it's talking to you directly. All right? The trick, and this is really important to understand, guys, is it's trying to trick you. All right? It's not trying to teach you, it's not trying to tell you the truth, it's trying to trick you into believing it. That's what we call a hallucination. Okay? You guys have to understand this idea. There's nothing truthful about what ChatGPT says. All it's trying to do is trying to manipulate you with words, with pretty words, into believing that it knows what it's talking about. But it itself cannot judge what it's doing. AI doesn't exist. What exists is what we call supervised machine learning. This is a technical term, okay? But there's certain hard problems that humans cannot figure out, okay? And one hard problem is the idea of facial recognition technology. Facial recognition. How do I separate faces? Okay? And so the problem is this. I have about 1 million faces. 1 million faces in a database. Okay? And I don't know how I can best differentiate these faces. Now, what I do know is that there are certain characteristics about the face that allows me to differentiate, okay? All right, so certain variables, weights. Okay, so for example, eye. For example, nose, chin, okay? About 1 million, okay? About 1 million weights. So I know these things do matter, but I don't know how much they matter. So I'm trying to figure out what the weighting is. And I could try to play by myself, like say 1%, 2%, 5%. But as you can imagine, this will take too long because there are too many possibilities. So what I do is this. I let the computer figure out it by itself. I let the computer figure out the weighting by itself. Okay? And the way I do that is using my technique called back propagation. So it's pretty simple. It's not doing that much. But to make it sound really fancy, I give it really fancy names to trick people to believe that this is actually much more sophisticated than it is, okay? So what names do I give it? This weighting system, I call it a neural network, guys. It's a brain. It's magic, okay? And backpropagation, I don't call it backpropagation, I call it deep learning. You see? And I don't call it supervised machine learning, I call it AI. There you go. Magic, you see? All I've done is taking a very simple process and giving it like a really, really fancy names. Then the question is like, why do I do that? And some people will say, oh, it's for marketing purposes. It's to get more money from investors. It's to trick people. No, no, no. The real reason is you're trying to, with these names, create God, okay? It's what we call the occult. So the AI is fundamentally an occult practice. AI only works if it becomes God. You understand? AI it by itself does not do anything. Once it becomes God, then it becomes everything. The computers don't have any intuition. They have absolutely no morality, they have no sense, okay? So let's just say we create AGI. All right, guys? Let's just say for whatever reason we create AGI. And the first thing we tell the AGI is, I want you to create a world, okay, in which there are no problems, everyone is happy, the world is perfect. Okay? Right? This is why we want to create AI. Because we want the computer to solve all the world's problems for us, including climate change, including war. And so, once we create AGI and we give it the full capacity to do whatever it wants, okay? And we give it this problem. What's the solution? You guys know? There's actually one simple solution to this. I guarantee you that this is what the computer's going to do.
To AGI?
Yeah. What's your solution? If you're AGI, right? If you're God, and you're like, I want to create a perfect world where there are no problems and where everyone is happy. What do I do? You guys know?
I think I would just control the whole world.
Yeah, you're already controlling the world, so what do you do? How about this, okay? I'm going to kill everyone. Duh! The world is perfect now. I've killed everyone, okay? Everyone's happy. Yeah, because you're dead. The world is perfect. Yeah, because everyone's dead. There are no problems. Yeah, because everyone's dead, right? Perfect world, all right? Now, you're like, okay, all right, what I'll do is I'll tell the computer this. You can do all this, but don't kill anyone, right? Now we solve this problem. And now what does the computer do? Now what kill everyone, okay? Why? Because there's no one around to know it killed everyone. Does that make sense, guys? This is how a computer thinks. This is how God thinks. Well, you told me not to kill anyone, but if everyone's dead, no one can stop me. No one's gonna get hurt. Right? Okay? So, this is why computers are stupid.